regulator, case investigator.
So wait a minute, you say you're a case investigator? You've got to go find out if people have COVID and sort of root out the truth?
In a sense, but we do it remotely, therefore we are all in our own location.
I understand. So it's not like you're in Colombo, you sort of poke around and you're leaving.
Take the next left onto West 79th Street.
Yeah, I'm not going through their Benzo and asking them to open their doors. No, sir.
Well, Annie, welcome to the show. Let me introduce you to our panel for this week. First up, it's a stand-up whose live and virtual comedy shows you can find via AlonzoBowden.com. Alonzo Bowden.
Hello, Annie. How are you?
Lovely.
Next, it's the host of the podcast Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone, available wherever you might get your podcasts. It's Paula Poundstone.
Hey, Paula.
And finally, a humorist who is so pro-vax, he'll volunteer to get his early. It's Tom Bodette.
In your line, Annie. How are you doing?
Hey, you're right here for me.
Annie, welcome to the show. I bet you anticipated this. You're going to play Who's Bill this time. Bill Curtis right here is going to read you 3 quotations from the week's news. If you can correctly identify or explain 2 of them, you will win our prize. Any voice from our show you might choose in your voice. Ready to go?
I'm ready.
Here is your first quote.
Everyone's entitled to a mulligan once in a while.
In 1,000 feet, turn left onto West 75th Street.
What solemn proceeding began in the Senate?
The impeachment.
Yes, or the second impeachment of Donald Trump. The House managers presented video of Trump and the rioters he incited.
Take the next left onto West 75th Street.
Republicans had to literally look away. Senator Josh Hawley was seen ignoring the presentations and just going through some paperwork instead. What a disgrace, said a million people who have spent every minute of every Zoom meeting for the past year scrolling Instagram.
Oh, come on now. Who hasn't incited a riot and an attack on the Capitol? It could happen to anybody. So we just let this one go.
That is pretty much the attitude taken by Republicans, some of whom are performatively ignoring the evidence. In addition to Josh Hawley, Senator Rick Scott was seen over the course of the 2 days of evidence. This is true. He was filling in the countries on a blank map of Asia. It's so nice that even after reaching his high office, he's still working on getting his elementary school degree.
Yeah. He had some work that was missing. I found the whole thing so educational.
Really? How so?
Well, I had no idea that Nebraskans were such judicial thinkers.
I didn't either.
Yes. Now, you are referring, of course, to the breakout star of day one. That was Trump lawyer Bruce Castor, who gave a speech so meandering, including calling Nebraska, for some reason, a, quote, judicial thinking place, that even Rudy Giuliani thought, what the hell is this guy talking about? You know, Trump was in trouble when Castor started his speech by saying, ladies and gentlemen, what is impeachment? And then waited for someone to tell him.
Well, I think he was just lost in his suit. Did you know? I mean, it looks like he lost like 40 pounds, but never had the suit taken in. Which, I mean, I applaud him for losing the weight, but holy smokes.
Apparently he lost it that day. He heard the opening arguments of the other side, and just the pounds fell away.
He just shed it.
Now, on the second and third days of the trial, the Democrats showed much more video evidence, including new security video, we had never seen it, of the Capitol siege, including footage that showed Mitt Romney running so fast from the rioters that one of his hairs almost moved. Ooh, for real.
Continue on West 75th Street for 1 mile.
In another video, Chuck Schumer is seen to run like an Olympic Schumer.
Romney did look fairly athletic when he kicked it in. He found a stride and was gone. It was great.
He ran like there were taxes coming for him.
Exactly. All right, Annie, here is your next quote. Damn it, double up. That was epidemiologist Eric Finkel-Ding talking about new advice we got from the CDC
wasn't wearing one mask.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe they're...
When you
maybe-
shoot for two, isn't he aiming a little high? Has he not been to Florida, Texas, Arizona, the Dakotas, and on and on and on, right?
It's possible that they're only saying this so maybe the idiots who refuse to wear a mask as a form of rebellion will now try to rebel by wearing just one mask. So at least you're trying to get the American average up to one. Maybe.
Yeah, it's like when you set your alarm clock for an hour before you need to leave from where you're going.
And eventually, if you sleep in, eventually you'll get up and go. Yeah.
Right, which means that you got 15 minutes. Right.
Now, one problem with double masks is it might double your mask need, which is a real problem. It's rashes and pimples in your chin caused by constantly wearing a mask. It's either that, or it's that we're all using the pandemic as an excuse to gorge ourselves with chocolate and anabolic steroids.
I think what happens if you tell a nurse about your mask need. Like, cry me a river. I've been wearing these masks since before the pandemic. What do they do? Those healthcare workers, they've been wearing these all the time. So can't we just find out what they do for mask need?
Well, apparently their solution is you have to wash your mask regularly. Or, who cares? You're wearing a mask. No one's going to see it.
Maybe they're only wearing it because they already had,
All right, Andy, here is your last quote.
Why are people so dang obsessed with it?
That was National Geographic talking about the recent pileup of space probes arriving where?
Well, I would guess Mars. We all live there, don't we?
Yes, it is Mars. You guessed correctly. 3 probes, 3 different space probes have either arrived or will be arriving at Mars just this month. There's one from China, one from the USA, and one from the United Arab Emirates, or UAE. There is actually traffic on the way to Mars. Real space race, it turns out, just getting a parking spot.
Yeah, it makes you think that they found something they're not really telling the rest of us about, right?
Yeah. Well, what's interesting to me is the UAE, United Arab Emirates, the first Arab country ever to do it, has sent a probe to Mars and has just arrived in orbit. Now, they, of course, are the same people who convinced, the international jet set to come to Dubai. So that means that Mars will soon be the next pretentious destination. Somebody will spend a week there, and for the rest of their life, they'll be like, well, we pronounce it Marf.
Well, when you think of Dubai, they probably got the best shot at being able to settle Mars, because look where they built that city.
Yeah.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Shawnee Mission Parkway.
Plus, don't they have the tallest building in the
They
world
do.
in Dubai? So
They
all
do.
they have to do is make the elevator go 3 more floors and
They're
they're on Mars.
practically there. You're right.
I think it just shows how little we trust each other as countries when one government goes to Mars and says there's absolutely nothing there. And they're like, I don't believe it. I'm sending a probe myself. And 2 countries are like,
Turn left onto Shawnee Mission Parkway.
But dust. You're holding out on me. I'm sending.
Bill, how did Annie do on our quiz?
Andy's our champion. Congratulations, Andy.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for playing, Annie. And keep up that good work. Hopefully it'll be over soon.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye now. Right now, panel, it is time for you to answer some questions about this week's news. Tom, a museum in Western Canada had thought they found a priceless ancient carving made by the indigenous people of that region, until a local artist came forward and said, no, that's mine. I made it a couple of years ago. The museum decided, though, to do what?
To use it anyway, because it's still local native art.
No, they were even more forward. I'll give you a hint. Like, la, 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 we can't hear you.
Oh, they just ignored the fact of it and
Yes, they
put it in
basically-
their collection.
They basically said, we don't believe you. Last week, the Royal British Columbia Museum announced they had found this artifact that was used in rituals by the Songhe and Esquimalt First Nations tribes, washed up at a beach, very valuable, very rare. But then this local guy named Ray said, nah, actually it was me. He even provided photos he took of the work while he was carving it. The museum is sticking to its guns. They basically say, I think we're the experts on what you did and didn't carve. Thank you.
In
very
800 feet, turn right onto IKEA Way.
First Nations elders inspect this sculpture and let them determine if the artifact was produced by their ancestors or Ray.
This couldn't have gone better for Ray. I mean, if his point was to just sort of punk the future by planting this artifact, I mean, this went hilariously well for him.
Take the next right onto IKEA Way.
And he even tried to stop say, "Hey, Ray."
Fabulous.
Get the feeling that they're just at the museum and the phone rings and they're like, oh, it's Ray again.
In 1,000 feet, you will arrive at your destination.
Ray painted the Mona Lisa? Yeah, Ray.
Coming up, Rome wasn't built in a day, but our Bluff the Listener game only takes about 4 minutes. Call 1-888 Wait Wait to play. We'll be back in a minute with more Wait Wait Don't Tell Me from NPR.
The coronavirus pandemic has forced many women, especially Black and Latino women, out of the workforce, and that has a huge impact on the economy. So what support do women need now? Plus, actor Daniel Kaluuya on portraying Black Panther leader Fred Hampton in the new film Judas and the Black Messiah.
There's a lot of information about how he died, how he...
You've arrived.
About how incredibly he lived.
That's on the next All Things Considered from NPR News. Join us for All Things Considered this afternoon from 4 to 5 o'clock here on Kansas Public Radio. From the University of Kansas, we're 91.5 Lawrence and 91.3 Oldsburg Junction City. Online at kansaspublicradio.org. Have you heard KPR is starting a new book club? Our very first book is Lady Bird Collected by Meg Hereford of the Lady Bird Diner in downtown Lawrence. Get your book now. Plenty of time to read it and submit your questions and comments at Kansas Public Radio's Facebook page and at our website, kansaspublicradio.org. Mark your calendar for March 31st. KPR presents first ever virtual book club with Lady Bird Collected by Meg Hereford. This is KPR.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations and Progressive Insurance, committed to protecting cars and drivers, whether on the open road or having a driveway moment while listening to NPR. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Fidelity Wealth Management, providing perspective on a client's entire financial picture. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokering Services, LLC. And Noom, a personalized weight loss program designed to give people knowledge to set new goals and the tools to stick to them for good. Learn more at Noom, N-O-O-M.